Lisa, thank you. And let's make sure, as we start this push, that we acknowledge we have the best executive director in the United States, and Lisa Gardner. I can't hear you very well. I can't. It's a little better. I can hear you a little better, but I'd like to hear it a little stronger. All right. Now, I sure wish I could be here to celebrate some of the extraordinary work that goes on at Planned Parenthood that doesn't get in the news very much. And I'm talking, for example, about all the wonderful work that you do in preventive health care, all the wonderful work Planned Parenthood does to prevent cancers in women and clients. And I sure wish I could be here to talk about that. But I need to bring it home really quick, and it's not just because it might rain a little bit, but because the fact is that all across this country, from Texas to Washington, D.C., extremists are mobilizing to roll back reproductive health rights of women. And I want to make it real clear to everybody, as your senior senator, working with our congressional delegation, our message tonight is we aren't going to the sidelines. We won't be silenced until women in every single part of this country have a legal right to safe abortion. And our delegation is going to be all in and all out to safeguard that right. And we have to take on this right-wing juggernaut, and we're committed to doing it. I asked Lisa for the chance to come. We were in Portland a couple of days ago. The Oregon congressional delegation said we had to speak out because of all of these efforts to overturn Roe versus Wade. And we know the Supreme Court is looking at the possibility of doing that. Mississippi case. These threats are real. Remember how we got into this? They used something called the shadow docket. Shadow docket, folks. Aren't we supposed to make sure that people's legal rights are discussed out in the open, not in the shadow docket? So I want to just make two last points, and then we're going to turn over to our friends. And that is, the Senate has to pass legislation that codifies Roe versus Wade. That's a priority. And I want to make it clear to everybody in Oregon that I'm not going to let arcane Senate rules like the filibuster to stand in the way of getting that done. Last point that I'm going to make is I think a lot of people are going to say when they hear about this initially, they're going to wipe their brow and go, "Whew, thank God at least we're okay in Oregon." I just want everybody to know that even though we've done so much with your good work and Lisa's good work and making sure abortion services are covered by private insurance that the Oregon health plan is going to protect as well, we need to understand that if this right-wing juggernaut continues to mobilize across the country, everybody is going to be affected. And I'll give you just an example, and then we'll wrap up. First thing we know is because Oregon has done a really strong job of protecting the right to choose in our laws, what's going to happen is people from Idaho are going to start coming over here. And there's going to be a big demand for services at your Planned Parenthood office and others in Oregon. So I want you to know, as chairman of the Finance Committee that has jurisdiction over Medicaid, first thing I would do in a situation like that is secure extra funds for Planned Parenthood to be able to meet those needs. Last point is we've got a great team, federal, state, and local. And Val Hoyle, where is Val, does a phenomenal job on so many issues for us as our state labor commissioner. So I'm so glad we're going to get to hear her speak before there's a downpour. Let's give it up big for Val Hoyle, labor